All the shit I did for Trick Daddy, Iceberg, Dunk Riders, all that shit was just my fingers, my hand playing on the keyboard. Okay. Wasn't no samples, no loops. Yeah. That was just me playing shit, you feel me? Okay. All original shit. But I started off making nothing but sample beats. This was when New York was hot. You had Wu-Tang and all these other dudes, you feel me? So I started off with an MPC 2000. Once I got serious about beats, I got me an MPC. And then that's when I started making like nothing but sample beats.
So you said you was around your homeboy, he was doing dope ass freestyle. So who else you started hanging around while you started getting better and better?
I got clicked up, like we had started a little clique called DBC, you feel me? Deerfield Beach clique, them boys clique.
Who was part of that clique, you don't mind me asking?
It was me, my dog Juice, which is my manager. He became my manager. His brother Mike, my boy Skrilla, and then my boy Cam, and obviously Sleazeball too. But we was like the 5 like heads of the label or the clique, and that's what kind of started. And then everybody was like, Rush the talent, so let's all just get behind Rush, you feel me, and try to make something shake. And that's what kind of helped me end up getting into the whole Trick Daddy situation, was through my boy Mike telling us, let's go to South Beach.
So out the whole crew, my bad for cutting you off, out the crew, so you was making beats and with the lyrics, you had the best out the whole crew too?
I was rapping, making beats. It started off with my dog Mike saying, let's try to get Rush some shows. I was like 15, 16.
So everybody used the main one, taking it serious basically.
Yeah. I was taking it serious before they met me. And then once we all got together in the crib, we just started like, you know what I'm saying, cooking. My dog Mike came up with ideas like, let's go to South Beach, try to get you some shows and shit. And that's what ended up having me meeting Trick Daddy's dad, Pops.
But how did that happen though? Let us know. How did it happen?
So we went to South Beach. Mike was like, let's go to South Beach, let's try to get a show or some shit. I ain't want to go. My dog Skrilla ain't want to go either. Like, I wasn't even old enough to even get in the club, you feel me? So we ended up going. We walking around, sweating our ass off and shit. And then we ended up we ended up going to a hotel, and we were just like chilling in the lobby and shit. So my dog Mike's like, fuck it, let's just start walking, try to find us a club or some shit. We ended up going outside, and the first club we see is Club Zeno, which was Ben Zeno's club. So we walk across the street and we knock on the door. Nobody answer. The shit ain't open. But then we see the janitor walk up. He was like, hey, the club ain't open, but the manager about to be here. He's like, by the way, he's Trick Daddy's dad. I'm like, Trick Daddy's dad? He's like, yeah, Pops. I ain't believe him. So we ended up waiting outside. Showing up, there go Pops walking up, you feel me? I still ain't believe it was Trick Daddy's dad, because I'm looking at him like, he ain't really look like Trick to me at the time. But it was him. He let us in. He checked out my music, played the shit in the club.
What you let him play? What you let him hear first?
I don't even know what I had a CD with like 10 songs on it.
You don't remember your main single you was pushing at that time?
Nah, I don't even remember what was on that shit, to be honest. Like, just a bunch of shit I was working on, you feel me?
So now you
all me on the beats, me on every song.
Oh, produced all the beats too?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
On some Kanye type shit.
Okay, then.
You feel me?
Before Kanye.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, then. So now Pops listening to it in the club.
Yeah. So he pop it in. Ain't nobody in the club. It's just Pops, the DJ, the workers, the bartenders. He put it in. Everybody was bobbing their head, vibing to it. And that was pretty much it. He was like, you know what I'm saying? We that was like the beginning of the relationship. We got to know each other. Ain't nothing happened out of it. But then a few months later, we end up, my boy Juice, which became my manager. He was just my homeboy, you feel me? But he became my manager. He took that role.
How y'all made that happen?
He was just like the best candidate, I feel like, at the time, and that's what it became. It was like him and his brother Mike both playing like manager roles. He became my official manager. So he ended up calling Pops. We met up with him one more time a couple months later. This time he had Ben Zeno's second location on South Beach. So we go down there. We walk in, and I had another CD with some more new songs and shit. I had a song on there called Wooden Leather, and that's the one that he really loved. Like, he ended up playing that shit. He was like, man, he's like, this shit right here is crazy. Pops.
Yeah. And what that song was about?
It was on some like pimp type shit.
Okay.
Called Silk in the Summer, Leather in the Winter.
So he was feeling that one.
He was fucking with that shit hard, you feel me? So after that, he was like, hey, this is the perfect time. And he's like, my son Maurice, he was talking about Trick Daddy.
You ain't know he was talking about Trick Daddy?
Nah, I mean, I figured that's who he was talking about. Because then he's like, my son Maurice, Trick Daddy. Okay. He's just starting his label, Dunk Riders. You feel me?
So Dunk Ride was just getting started.
Yeah, wasn't nobody on Dunk Riders yet.
Okay then.
They was considering bringing Briscoe on board at that time, but he was still with Po Boy. So, but there wasn't nobody on Dunk Riders at that time. I was the first person.
Okay then.
You know what I'm saying? And then after that, my boy Juice had an Ozone magazine. I don't know if you remember the Ozone.
Yeah, I remember it.
He had the Ozone magazine, and inside of it, it had Trick Daddy's manager's number in it, which was also his blood brother Chuck, which became my manager.
How did you make that happen? Like, what y'all call?
He just found his number. He called him. He was like, "Hey, we just met up with Pops like 2 times, and he's saying he fucking with Rush." So he verified that. He was like, he had me meet him at the Circuit House.
Circuit House is a studio, right?
Yeah, Circuit House studio. It's like a little mini mansion.
So he like, coach called you, wanted to meet up.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, come to this Circuit House. Let's chop it up." So we all go down there. I meet Chuck. You know what I'm saying? We shake hands and shit. And then I see a studio. We in the backyard of the Circuit House. So in the backyard of the Circuit House, they got like a little tiki studio kind of in the cut. So I hear the music. I hear that shit whamming in there. You feel me? Like I could tell somebody was in that bitch. Trick Daddy walk out. He walk up to me. That's the first time I met Trick.
Trick Daddy was in the studio.
Yeah, he was in there working with Jim Johnson. I can't remember what song it was, but it was him and Jim Johnson working in the studio. So then, like a week later, I ended up signing a deal with them as an artist and a producer.